Up everyone, and welcome to Chaos Spawn Wargaming. This is the first of several introduction videos where we introduce the main contributors to the channel, the armies they have, and the general tactics they like to play by. I'm Bryan, and let's get started. The first thing I do want to do is do some shout outs here. We have some fantastic mats from FrontlineGaming. You can buy them online, and also to one of our FLGS friendly local gaming stores. Third Eye Games down in Annapolis, Maryland is pretty great. So this is one of my biggest armies here. This is the Flesh Eater Courts, and let's go over what I have. So this is going to be everything I have currently. I'm still working on painting and getting everything model based, etc. So please excuse the lack of paint on a ton of these guys, but let's start over here. We have the Zombie Dragon. They're really cool models. They like to kill a lot, but not quite as killy as Mr. Terrorgeist over here. I do take them depending on which list I'm going with. I like to vary it up. It's just a great model all around. And whenever I do a Ghoul King or a Terrorgeist, I just go ahead and I plop one of these guys down. I'll eventually magnetize and base a little section for him to stand, but that way I can get as much bang for my buck out of the things I've paid for. I have 90 ghouls in various states of paint. I've got 9 horrors, 3 squads of 3. Typically I take squads of 6. I do need to get some more because I'm a big fan of the horrors, or the knights as the Flesh Eater Courts think that they are. And then we have our Pegasus, or our Flayers, over here. We've got some Courtiers up front, the Ghasts. We've got what I use is a Vargolf over here, and that's just because I'm not particularly fond of the model. I do need to change his base out because he's not quite on the right base, but we'll get to that eventually. And then the Horror Courtiers, Haunters. This one I made myself just because I'd like to give it a little bit of variation to the army. Everything looks quite the same because there's only basically 3 poses for each of these models. So I also have a couple Ghoul Kings on foot, which again I try and throw on the Terrorgeist. Terrorgeist does a lot of work. And then a custom made Arch Regent, because I could not get a set of the box set. So you got to do what you got to do to make this work. He's a beast. And then of course the Charnel Throne with plenty of blood on it. I'm going to bloody it up some more in the coming days. I've got 2 of my 3 spells here. I'm still working on the Barricade. I don't necessarily see myself using the Barricade very often, so it's sort of sitting on my hobby desk as I work on other things. As far as tactics, I tend to shy away from Gristlegore just because of how powerful it is. I tried it once and it did a lot of damage just with the one Terrorgeist. It walked through my Orc opponent. I was playing Ben that day. Just even after the FAQ and the changes they made, anytime he charged he went first and then going again. It was just pretty much unstoppable for him. But typically I play with a lot of smaller dudes. I play with a lot of my ghouls. I play units of 20 typically to try and get those buffs. And I bring on our Vargolf for free and set him next to one of the units that might need some healing. I love the Horrors, absolutely love their damage 2 and the potential for 3. They don't have rend, but that's alright. They're going to fail enough saves to get through. Flayers I've not really found a niche for. I don't see them being as good. I know Math Hammer and statistics say they're a better army than they are. I just haven't had great success with them. I find that they don't pack that punch that I really want. They have a nice rend, but I'd really like to see more from them, especially with their Scream. A lot of my opponents are leadership 10, so I'm never going to do anything with that. So that's my army, at least this one. We'll go on to the next one in just a minute. And right, the next one we're going to talk about is my Ideneth. Probably my best painted army. And so far you can probably tell I have a thing for hordes. I've got 40 Namarti, I like to send in my soul render in the middle of the squad and trying to res as many people as possible. But let's look what we have. We have the Alopex, which is probably my favorite model in the line. I painted him gray. Next one might be like a tiger shark or something like that. But so far, that's him. I've got a soul render, Tidecaster, Lotan. Got to have Lotan if you're running a lot of small models. He makes the Namarti reroll them ones, which is great. I've got the Morsar Eel. I'm going to be getting some more. Got a box unmade sitting over there. I'm going to make the shield, the Ishalian Guard. My Callian King on Deep Mare. Again, 40 Namarti. I typically run Morphan. And I want to get the Namarti Corpse to raise 6 guys at a time. That's pretty great. And can really sway things when they just get back up, because the Namarti really pack a punch. Against single wound models, that extra attack. Against 4 or more wound models, that extra damage. It's pretty good, especially with just a Rend 1. They can take out some stuff pretty quickly and then keep getting back up. And then, of course, gotta have the Leviathan. Leviathan is just a beautiful model. I'm taking my time painting this one because it is definitely like the showcase piece in any Idoneth Deepkin army. And then the boats. I'm going to get another one. I did sort of like that ghosty feel to it so far. Again, still working on all the painting. These guys need to be based. I'm going to do probably a water theme, obviously. But again, typically what I do with these guys is I run a bunch of Namarti, have a little bit of eels to be able to move and capture things as needed. But my main fighting force is these Namarti that just generally sit and stand and don't go anywhere, because the soul render just keeps them alive. This is probably my favorite army, just aesthetically, and again, they're probably my best painted one, just because of the time I had at the time to really paint them well. But we'll see how things go as things progress. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, this is my Chaos army, my Beasts of Chaos to be more specific. As you can see, this is very early on. Just barely got any paint on these guys so far. Got 2 units of Bestigors, some Ungors, Gors, a Bray Shaman, and big boy the Gorgon. So far, I'm still developing how I want to play them. I know I like the Bestigors. They're good. Can do some decent things. The Ungors I usually sacrifice to the Herdstone with the Bray Shaman. I still need to find a Beast Lord online, Finecast or something. But these guys are going to be up and coming for a while, just because this is I think 680 points or something, so you probably won't see them much on the channel for a while unless I proxy in some models. I definitely want to try some Bulgors out. They seem pretty good. The Doom Bull seems like he can do a lot of damage. I'll be getting the spell shortly, so I can play around with that as well. But I know I definitely need to build up this army a lot, because just because of the Primordial Call and there's so many options, you want to be able to have multiple models to fit different situations that you might find yourself in. You don't want to just have, say, another thing of Gors or more Bestigors off to the side for summoning or for Primordial Call. You need to have a variety so that you can be very situational with how you use it. So far, this is what I've got. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. I think I'm going to go with like a lava Akshai kind of theme for them. Maybe throw in some red horns or some lava-like horns. They did some, I think, in the Codex, and there's some videos online, so we'll see what we can do with that. But so far, this is where we're at. Barely painted. Very small army. Definitely my work in progress army. Last but not least, my Sylvaneth. This is probably the army I've been playing the most recently, and this is what I have. I am missing one model right now. My Spirit of Jerthu is at a painting competition. I still need to go pick him up. He got second place, which isn't bad. My brother did the base on it, Ben. Probably didn't mention, but we're brothers, twins. But he won second. I won second with Dirthu. He won first with his Maul Crusher, and still haven't picked him up yet. I need to go do that. Anyway, so I've got Drycha, the beast herself. I still need to play some more games with her to feel her out, but from what I've read, what I've seen, she can do quite a bit of damage with those shots and just wreak havoc everywhere. I've got 40 Dryads. I typically run them in 20-man squads. I'm missing a couple because some need to be repaired. They broke in transport in between games at one point. I've got 2 regular Tree Lords, 2 Ancients, one with this like sword thing I tried to make. Didn't work too well. 2 Branch Witches, 2 Branch Wraiths, 2 units of 5 Tree Revenants, 3 Sword Kurnoth Hunters, the spells, and then 1 of the GW trees. I'm going to make some more myself, but currently those are the ones I have, and this is what I use. Typically when I play, I take at least 1 unit of Tree Revenants just for their objective grabbing. They can be a hassle to deal with sometimes, just moving people out of the way and making it so they're not doing something they want to do. Dryads, just keep it, if you keep them near the trees, they're just amazing. Especially if you grab a Branch Wraith that can just bring back more regrowth on somebody, to bring in more. Alariel I'll get at some point, hopefully by the end of the year, because she's just amazing. But typically, this is what I'm running. I typically have the Spite Hive, at least 1 Wraith, if not 2. I always bring my boy, the Spirit of Dirthu, just because he's so great. If you take him with Gear Strike from Gur, he is a 2+2+ monster. Throw him near some trees that you laid down, and he is throwing out so many attacks. He's not missing enough, and he just murders everything on the table from my experience. He will be a little bit of a glass cannon, but when it comes down to it, he's going to take out what you need when you need it, and then disappear. I mean, if you wanted to, you can just have him disappear. Have him warp to another Wildwood if you have it, which you should. My tactic is always to place my free Wildwood as close to the center of the board as I can, and then first turn I'm going to be bringing on 1 if I can, especially if I've got an Ancient, to try and cast some more stuff and use their one-off ability to bring some Wildwood down. And that's also where I'll probably generally summon my Branch Wraiths, Dryads. But again, I love this army. It's super fun. I don't have the Arch Tree Revenant, just because, again, I haven't bought any of the box sets. I'm just waiting for GW to figure out what they're going to do and whether or not they're going to let us buy those as individual models. They could easily charge $25, $30 for those models and make quite a bit just by having them loose. But again, these are my models. I still have to get basing. I'm terrible at basing. That's why Ben does it for me. But we'll get there. Again, my name's Bryan. Welcome to Chaos Spawn Wargaming, and I hope you like the content that we are going to bring. At some point, we will eventually start a Patreon page. Be sure to like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and eventually that Patreon page.